Welcome everybody to our Red G Fox channel where it's all, as you can see in the background, about Sanford and Son. And today, as you read in the topic, Grady Wilson versus Bubba Bexley. Who is the favorite? It's so tough because in the show, we actually see Fred Sanford say, he's called Bubba his best friend.
My best friend, Bubba.
He's called Grady a dear friend.
I don't know, but he's such a dear friend of mine. I
know that Grady was there when Lamont was born. So we know that, and he met Bubba when he came out to California, as Bubba said, when he was talking to B.B. King. So we got backstories on both. Who is the favorite? And before we say, come on, we know the answer to this, let's look at both sides and give a fair perspective. Maybe we can change one person from one side to the other. But be sure to comment below whether you watched just 10 seconds of this video or not. Who is your favorite friend between Grady Wilson and Bubba Bexley? We got 5 points we're going to break down, and at the end, we'll see who comes out on top each round. Okay, our first point to attack, who appeared in more episodes? You might think, hey, Grady Wilson probably did because he filled in a lot in season 3 for Red Fox when he was gone, even some of season 4. But to some surprises, not diehards, Bubba Bexley appeared in 43 episodes, his first one being in season 2, episode 1, By the Numbers. So we go, hey, when did Grady come around? Not all the way till season 3, the second episode, where it's Libra rising all over Lamont. Grady made 37 appearances. So, in total, Bubba beats him by 6. So you got to give it to Bubba this round. But I'm going to give a half point to Grady just in the mere fact that he only lost by 6 and yet appeared a whole season, 24 episodes after Bubba was around. And Bubba did do a good deal of episode appearances in season 2. But just the fact that Grady got so much work, remember, he even left for his own TV show, and we'll get to that point later, but he even left for his own TV show, Grady, and still, that was another season without him, season 5, while Bubba was there. So we got to say, Grady, in his small amount of time, still only lost by 6 to Bubba. That's such a huge impact he had. There's other reasons why as well, but a huge impact he had, why Grady stuck around. So 1 point for Bubba, a half point for Grady. Let's get to the second point. Point 2, this one's a cool one. This is who challenges Fred. Right? We all have our friends in our personal life to where, hey, who challenges us? This one, let's start with Grady. In the episode with Junior Joe Lewis, where they're trying to be a fighter, we'll take a real quick at the scene right here, and we'll see what I mean by challenging Fred. He doesn't back down. He doesn't sit there and whenever Bubba says something, Grady doesn't just kiss his butt. He actually stands up to him and actually even kind of mocks him on this. Let's look at this scene real quick.
Oh, boy, you did it, Fred. You got him on the ropes now. Now finish the job. Borrow one of the ropes and hang yourself.
I love that. Yeah, grab the rope and hang yourself with it. So yeah, he calls out Fred. Fred made a mistake. Grady even tried to warn him. He didn't listen. And then he tries to warn him about sitting in the paint. And he's all, I don't need to listen to you. And he makes another mistake and Grady laughs at him. We all need friends like that in our life that'll kind of hold us in check and hold us accountable and not just be a bunch of yes mans. And I think Grady does a really good job on that. So now let's get to Bubba. I mean, honestly, if I go through the series, you can comment below. I can't think of a moment where Bubba really ever challenges. Bubba's is a yes man. He does a lot of things where he either doesn't know, he doesn't have the quite intelligent level Fred has, or he kind of just goes with whatever Fred wants. The best I could see where he tries to, not really challenge, but tell me your thoughts on it. Let's look at this. This is when Fred becomes the Watts businessman, and he sits there and goes, hey, you know what, Fred, you're having a problem with your back? I got an idea. Let's look at this clip real quick.
Oh, Bubba! And presto! Give me strength, I'll presto your head. So hard you don't know what hit you.
What's the matter? Didn't the pain go away?
He ends up not helping him. He tries, right? This is one instant where Fred says, hey, if you mess up, I'm gonna knock you out, basically. That's the closest I can think of is Bubba being something in his life where he's not just always a yes man. Grady constantly will step up to Fred, kind of like Shemp in Three Stooges. Weird analogy, but Shemp in Three Stooges, he would get smacked. He'd always smack Mo back, while Curly hardly ever did that. And I feel like Bubba's more like Curly, and Grady's more like Shemp. Still the same kind of comic material, but more of a challenge, and I think Grady. So Grady wins this one. He does challenge Fred more, and we all need friends like that in our life. Let's get to the next point. All right, after 2 rounds, it is Bubba 1, Grady 1.5. And this is probably my favorite of all the topics, and that is who has the best one-liners. Now, both of them probably have like a dozen. We can think of so many different funny scenes, but we're going to go through some of the top clips. And we're going to get to ones that might be for most familiar, starting with Bubba. We all know Bubba. Before we get to his most famous, one of the biggest ones was in season 2 when he was new to the show, and that is sitting on a gold mine.
From behind?
Yeah?
Cadillac?
Yeah?
White man?
Yeah?
Fred, you sitting on top of a gold mine.
I love that. And the whole episode, brother, you sitting on a gold mine. That keeps coming up, and that is Bubba's first line. So when I think of Bubba, comment below. We know what everyone's going to say, and we're going to get to that one next. But after that, what else is it? I know some people will say, here, Bunny Bunny. But I got 2 on here, other ones that I think are pretty impactful and pretty funny, and that I hear a lot. So we got with that one with sitting on a gold mine. The next one, of course, is where's I want my daddy's records.
Your son, eh?
I want my daddy's records.
We never go wrong. There are t-shirts that say, and I still keep needing to order one, t-shirts that say, I want my daddy's records. Bubba definitely is a huge, that is such a saying that's still popular nowadays, even with casual fans. And then the final one is, this one I do get a lot, where he goes, he dresses like a Viking, and they ask, do you have a tube of lipstick?
Have a tube of lipstick.
A tube of lipstick? What would I do with a tube of lipstick? Man, I'm a Viking, not a Vi-Queen.
I'm a Viking, not a Vi-Queen. So those are 3 of Bubba's really good lines. Daddy, I want my daddy's records, of course, being number 1, but gold mine and a Viking, not a Vi-Queen. Those are some of the best ones right there with Bubba. So I really feel like before we even get to Grady's, man, it's going to be tough for Grady to hop over I want my daddy's records. Let's get to Grady's. This one, of course, he's got more. Those are popular for that, but Grady has, right? Let's look at his number 1 line as he says it frequently throughout the show.
Oh, good goobly-woo. What happened to you? Look at us, what was going on?
Yeah. Good goobly goop. We even hear him when he says it when he makes the prank call to Lou Turner. It's several times in the series. That's probably his number 1 line. How funny is it? That's what I said. It's not nowhere near as funny as I want my daddy's records, or even sitting on a gold mine, but it still is a good line, and it is a memorable one for him. Another great line for him is whenever he wants to watch TV, he has a specific way of saying it.
So I think I'll have a little snack and look at the little television.
That I actually like more than good googly goop. When he sits there and goes, watch a little bit of yeah, I love it. Grady does it best. I shouldn't even try to attempt to do that. But that's a great line, one we frequently see when we look at comment sections. And then finally, this one, this is not one that's mentioned. It is, the whole part is, it's where he says the Wicked Witch of Watts and also the Munchkins. Because this one is probably, I want to say, it's got to be top 10 episodes of all time from fans, from what I've seen. It's not in my top 10, but in the community, I hear this frequently, and that is the one where he has Fred's treasure garden, and Fred's not even in it.
For that, there was Dorothy and Toto and the Wicked Witch of the Watts.
Of the West, Grady.
We can pull other lines from Grady, but that one's really good with the Munchkins because that episode is so popular. That's one of the biggest episodes when it comes to fans. They always love to say Fred's treasure garden, even though Fred's not even in it, with the Munchkins, right? The Munchies, the Munchkins, the Wicked Witch of Watts. So that's really good for Grady, but none of those, in my opinion, come up to I Want My Daddy's Record. So for this round, most memorable lines with that specific character attached to it, it's got to go to Bubba, making it Bubba 2, Grady 1.5. Let's get to the 4th. Okay, point number 4. This is who is most loyal. And we talked about how loyal Bubba is earlier, right? He never really challenges Fred. He's kind of like a yes man at times. And that he also probably isn't the same intelligence level as Fred. But when it comes to it, we'll start with Grady, because last round we started with Bubba. So in this one, we'll start with Grady. And when it comes to loyalty, I don't really see too much. We know Grady always wants to do things to help Fred. The biggest thing for Grady is that he stays and he helps take care of his best friend. And he says this frequently, his best friend's only son.
Who punched my best friend's only son in the nose? Who was it?
JoJo Jackson.
Did you say JoJo Jackson?
That's right.
Yeah, you know, he's like, hey, I'm taking care of my best friend's son. And the fact that that's another huge thing. He stays there, keeps an eye in the house, keeps it in great shape. Nobody knows. I mean, he's so loyal. I don't even know if Bubba would have done this. He went there and did everything he can to stop JoJo Jackson from annihilating Lamont just for Fred. So that's a huge, you take that out, it's got to go Bubba. Throughout the series, and we'll get to Bubba's point, Bubba seems more loyal to Fred, but this is such a huge factor. It's hard to really overlook that hey, he took care, watched the house, watched his son, ran the business, all these things that, now in real life, I've actually said this, I think Don Bexley probably didn't want to. We know LaWanda Page was good friends, but Red was probably like, hey, you go. You got a job to keep. But maybe it's funny. Don Bexley never appeared in any episodes where Red Fox wasn't there. Everyone can handle things differently. Maybe he's like, you know what? I don't want to be in the show, or I refuse to be in the show until Red comes back. These guys were comic partners for years. So I don't know if that's true. But Grady still ran the show without him. Let's get to Bubba's number one. Why was he loyalty? At the very end, the very last episode, and this is one little side point for Bubba, he actually appeared in the final episode. Grady didn't. Now, Grady was in a lot of season 6, but he wasn't in the last one. They didn't know it was the last one at the time. But Bubba was there, and he even says when they're trying to keep it and they're thinking about something, Bubba kept it a secret, never blew the secret about Fred going back to high school.
Say, tell me something, Bubba. Where are you guys headed tonight anyway?
Oh, nowhere special.
Come on, Bubba. That's 15 nights in a row that you and Pop have gone no place special.
Now you down there, Bubba?
Yeah, they question him, They're like, hey, putting pressure on him. He's like, no. He even covers his tracks when he messes up. But he doesn't blow the secret, keeps it for him. Man, this is a real tough one. I actually was leaning so much to Grady, but even on my notes when I put it, I had it going to Grady and Bubba. So they each get a point on this. Both of them are incredibly loyal. Both of them really doing all sorts of things just to stay true with their friend. So both get a point, which means Bubba now has 3 points and Grady has 2.5, meaning this last one's going to decide it. No one's got a guaranteed victory. Literally a half point away. Let's see who gets to the final point. All right, so coming to our final point. Before we get to that, power to the Foxes. Just a quick shout out to our members. We got Mike Ludden, we got Jim Oppett, and we got Tandy. Thank you guys so much for being part of the Gray Foxes. And we have our other members listed here below, Esther's Raiders. If you ever want to become a member, we got a new members video coming out as well this week. Be sure to tune in. And we got all sorts of cool emojis, badges, other fun things, as well as live shows coming back. So become a member. Thank you to those who are. So let's get to our fifth and final point, and that is the fan votes. You guys decided this. This is something I've already done before. You can see right here on YouTube. You've seen it on our Facebook page where it's got, combine them both, we got over almost 70,000 followers or subscribers on both of them combined. So that's a lot of people that voted. Now, we did not get that many votes. I wish we could. We are in a minority, but the comments through all these posts have seen, as you might even see in the comment section here below. Right now, if we go to the votes, the total votes done were over 3,000. And it was between not just Bubba and Grady, but we included other friends, as you can see right here. And then we even had one on Facebook where it was, hey, just tell us, who do you like more? Who do you think's your favorite friend? And it's crazy, the results. The results were 88% for Grady. He took over 2,200 of those votes, a little 2,200 and change, but 88% for Grady to win that, 12% for Bubba. Coming into this, we knew, and people even said, hey, why do you even have to make this video? We know it's going to be that. Just because we still want to cover reasons why. So Grady wins it right there. He gets that point, winning 3.5 to 3. That is outstanding. What a crazy, it's actually closer than I think when you look at these. Tell me if I'm wild, because you got to break down all the different reasons why Grady might be better. But then you throw into the other things as we talk about. Bubba never had his own show. Do I think Bubba could have carried the show? No. Why? Because I think his character never developed the full depth that Grady did. When Grady first came in, I don't even know if his character could have carried the show. If you watch his first few appearances, he's kind of slow. He's having some quick wit, right? And he's, like I said, challenging Fred. It was, as it continued to go on, Grady started to get more and more involved. And in reality, we've already broke it down before, Whitman Mayo wanted to leave the show. He couldn't even get out of here. Every time he tried to leave, they're like, no, please stay. We like you. The fans like you. And he ended up staying, and then he got his own show because of his popularity. So what a powerful reason to say Grady is number one. I just don't know if Bubba's character could have carried it. Just think about it. Bubba being in Grady's shoes, could he have done that? He was kind of sometimes a bumbling guy, struggling to just make it through life. And I just couldn't see him. Now, Don Bexley, complete opposite. Off the camera, I've done research on all these people's lives, and Don Bexley's at the top. Him and Red Fox are at the top of my list. Grady will, Whitman Mayo, not as much. But when it comes to Sanford and Son, Grady wins. The comment section should say it as well. And all our past posts have said Grady Wilson is the fan favorite friend. But I just wanted to break it down, show some clips, and get a few laughs out of it. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like our channel, if you like Sanford and Son, what are you doing? Subscribe today. And if you did watch this far in the video, I appreciate it so much. Be sure to always leave a like. It always helps the video get pushed out there because some videos take off and some of ours, so it all depends. So thank you guys very much. Have a great week. Be safe and look for a members only video coming out soon. Peace. Oh, and another video coming out within the next few days.